Hello students, good morning. Today we will discuss about the general syllogistic rules. In previous videos, we have already discussed general syllogistic rule 1, 2 and 3. Today we will discuss the general syllogistic rule 4. Rule 4. Rule 4. Every syllogism, the general syllogistic rules. No term can be distributed in the conclusion unless it is distributed in the premises. No term can be distributed in the conclusion unless it is distributed in the premises. Without being distributed in the premises, no term can be distributed in the conclusion. For example, all M is P, no S is M, therefore no S is P. Here the major premise is A proposition, minor is E and conclusion is E. A proposition distributes its subject term, E distributes both subject and predicate, E distributes both subject and predicate. What happened and why the premises is not conclusion? Here the major term is distributed and the middle term is distributed in both the premises. According to general syllogist rule, middle term must be distributed at least once in the premises. But here the middle term is distributed in both the premises, in the major premise and the minor premise. But in the conclusion, both subject and predicate terms are distributed. Major term and minor term, both terms are distributed. The minor term is distributed in the conclusion, it has also been distributed in the minor premise. S is distributed in conclusion, it has been also distributed in the minor premise. But in the major term, that is P, is distributed in the conclusion, but it is not distributed in the major premise. So there is a fallacy. Here, what is the reason and why the premises will it is a fallacy? Because the conclusion here, this term is more general than the premises. So the conclusion will never more general than the premises. That is why here we commit the fallacy of illicit measure. Here we commit the fallacy of illicit measure. This is a fallacy of illicit. See, according to the rule, no term can be distributed in conclusion unless it is distributed in the premises. Without being distributed in the premise, that term will not never be distributed in the conclusion. But here, the major term is distributed in the conclusion, but it is not distributed in the major premise. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit measure. Illicit measure arises when the major term is distributed in the conclusion without being distributed in the major premise. This is a case of fallacy of illicit measure. Similarly, when the minor term will be distributed in the conclusion without being distributed in the minor premise, it will also lead to the fallacy of illicit minor. I can give you another example. In case of illicit minor, no M is P, all M is S, therefore no S is P. Here major premise is E proposition, minor premise is A proposition and conclusion is also E proposition. E proposition distributes both subject and predicate term. A proposition distributes subject only. E proposition distributes both subject and predicate term. Here, according to rule 3, the middle term must be distributed at least once in the premise. In both the premises, the middle term M is distributed. There is no fallacy of undistributed middle. Then come to the conclusion. In the conclusion, both major term and minor term are distributed. Major term and P is the major term and S is the minor term. Major term is distributed in the conclusion. It has also been distributed in the major premise. So there is no fallacy of illicit major. Then the minor term is distributed in the conclusion, but it has not been distributed in the minor premise. Because a proposition distributes subject only. Minor term occupies in the predicate place. So it is not distributed. Without being distributed in the minor premise, the minor term is distributed in the conclusion. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit minor. Illicit minor. This is a case of fallacy of illicit minor. When the minor term is distributed in the conclusion without being distributed in the minor premise, this is called the fallacy of illicit minor. This is one example of fallacy of illicit minor. Violation of this rule 4 this leads to the fallacy of illicit major and illicit minor. This is all about this rules. Then rule 5. If both the premises be negative, both the premises be negative, no conclusion can be drawn. No conclusion can be drawn. If the premises are negative, no conclusion can be drawn. Why? Because if both the premises are negative, there will be no negative proposition establishes a exclusive relation between the subject and predicate. If both the premises are negative, no inclusive relation can be established between the subject and the predicate. If both the premises are negative, there will be no inclusive relation between the middle term with the major term and middle term with the minor term. For example, you see, no M is P, no S is M. Here, no M is P. No M is, this is the M and P. No M is P, no men are mortal. No S is P, no students are mortal. This is called S. No S is M, no S is M. This relation will be like this. Men and MP. There's middle term is excluded from major term and middle term is excluded from the minor term. So how the major and minor will be related? Because through middle term, the relation between the major and the minor will be established through the middle term. When both the premises are negative, the middle term is excluded or is related exclusively from the major term. Similarly, the middle term is established or establishes an exclusive relation with the minor term. So there will be no inclusive relation between the middle term with the major term or the middle term with the minor term. So no relation can be established between the positive relation can be established between the middle term with the minor term and the middle term with the minor. So no conclusion can be drawn. There will be no relation between the major and the minor. There will be no relation. Even if we deduce a negative conclusion like this, no S is P, this is a fallacy. This is called the fallacy from two negative premises. Negative premises. Here both are premises negative, but we are no conclusion can be drawn. But in spite of that, we are deducing a negative conclusion. Therefore, this is a fallacy from two negative premises. Violation of this rule 5, we are committing the fallacy from two negative premises. Then we will go for the next rule, rule 6. If one premise be negative, the conclusion must be negative. The conclusion must be negative. If one premise be negative, the conclusion must be negative. See, all M is P, no M is P, all S is M. Here, this is the major premise. Out of these two premises, the E proposition is universal negative and universal affirmative. One premise proposition, one premise is negative, another premise is affirmative. What about the conclusion? See, according to this rule, if one premises be negative, the conclusion must be negative. Why the conclusion be negative? You see, no M is P. Here, no M is P. This is the circle P and this is M. No M is P. But all S is M. All S are within M. All S is P. Here, there is a positive relation by inclusive relation with the minor term with the middle term, minor term with the middle term, and exclusive relation between the middle term with the major term, middle term with the major term. So definitely the major or minor will be negative or affirmative. This will be inclusive relation or exclusive relation. This relation must be exclusive relation. That is, S is excluded from P. So major term is excluded from minor term. So the conclusion must be negative. That is E proposition, no S is P. The conclusion must be negative. When one premise is negative, the conclusion must be. Why? Because there is a affirmative inclusive relation between middle term with either the major or minor. Here, inclusive relation with the minor term and exclusive relation with the major term. So definitely there will be exclusive relation with the major and the minor. If one premise be negative, the conclusion must be negative. Then we will go for the rule 7. If both the premises be affirmative, both the premises be affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. The conclusion must be affirmative. If both the premises be affirmative, means there will be inclusive relation with the major with the minor, middle term with the major term and middle term with the minor term, middle and major. For example, you can see all M is P, all S is M. So S is M. Here all M is P, all M is included within the P, and all S is M, all S is included with M. Here there is a inclusive relation between the middle term with the major term, middle term with the major term, and middle term with the minor term. Both major and minor term are affirmatively or inclusively related to major term and the middle term. Both major and minor term are affirmatively related to the middle term. Here middle term is related inclusively or affirmatively to major term. Middle term is also included or affirmatively related to the minor term. So through middle term we are establishing a relation between the major and the minor. When both are inclusively related to the middle term, major term and minor term, so they must be affirmative. When both the premises are affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. This is it. In another way, you can prove it. If both the premises be not affirmative, so one premise is affirmative and other premise must be negative. If one premise is affirmative and the other is negative, then what will be happen? Suppose E proposition, no S is M. And what about the conclusion? Conclusion must be no S is P. Conclusion will be negative. But he said in order to get a affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. In order to get an affirmative conclusion, so both the premises must be affirmative. If both the premises be not affirmative, if one is affirmative and other is negative, the conclusion must be negative. In the previous rule we have discussed, if one premise is negative, the conclusion must be negative. according to this rule, if one premise is affirmative, other is negative, the conclusion must be negative. But here, the rule 7 says both the premises be affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. In order to get an affirmative conclusion, so the premises must be affirmative. It must be affirmative, so it should not be negative. In this way, we can also prove this rule. This is all about the rule 7. In the next session, we will discuss about the rule 8. Rule 8. If both the premises be particular, no conclusion can be drawn. No conclusion can be drawn. If both the premises is particular, no conclusion can be drawn. You see, if both the premises particular means major premise and minor premise must be particular. Major premise is particular, minor premise will be particular. If both the premises particular means what will be the combination? Both may be I proposition and both may be O proposition. One major premise I, minor O or I. This will be the combination. Both are affirmative, both are negative. Particular affirmative, particular negative, particular negative. This will be like this. Now we have to prove one by one. If both the premises be particular or I proposition, major premise is I and minor premise is what will be the sum M is P, sum S is M. What will be the conclusion? If both are I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate. Here the middle term is not distributed in any of the premises. So this, if both the premises be I proposition, it leads to the fallacy of undistributed middle. Undistributed middle. Here both the premises be particular I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate. Here is I proposition neither subject nor predicate. Middle term is not distributed neither in the major premise nor in the minor premise. So it leads to the fallacy of undistributed middle. This is a fallacy of, from I, no conclusion can be drawn. From I, no conclusion can be drawn. Then O, both are negative. O proposition is particular negative. This is also particular negative. There is a rule. If both the premises be negative, no conclusion can be drawn. In this way, we can prove that if you are both are O proposition, so no conclusion can be drawn. Both are negative, so no conclusion can be drawn. We have proved that if you are O proposition, both the particulars, then no conclusion can be drawn. Then we will discuss about I and O. I and O. Sum M is P, sum M is, sum S is not M. Here one premise is affirmative and this is negative, so conclusion must be negative O proposition. Sum S is not P. I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate. O proposition distribute predicate only. I put this middle term in the predicate place because O proposition distribute predicate only. That in order to avoid the fallacy of undistributed middle, so this middle term occupies in the predicate place of the minor premise. So then what about the conclusion? O proposition distribute major term. In the conclusion, here there is no fallacy of undistributed middle. But what about the conclusion? In the conclusion, O proposition distribute predicate term. Predicate major term. Here major term is distributed in conclusion, but it is not distributed in the major premise. Why? Because I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate. Then here major term is not distributed in the major premise, but it is distributed in the conclusion. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit measure. Fallacy of illicit measure. Fallacy of illicit measure. So from I-O, no conclusion can be drawn. We have proved it. Then O-I. Major premise is O, minor premise is I. Sum P is not M. Some S is M. Therefore, the one premise is affirmative, another is negative. So conclusion must be negative. O proposition. Some S is not P. Here you see O proposition distribute predicate term. I distribute neither subject nor predicate. Here the fallacy of undistributed middle will be avoided. Then the conclusion distribute major term. Here the major term is distributed conclusion, but it has not been distributed major terms. Why? O proposition distribute predicate term. This is middle term. Or if we like this, you can put the middle term here. Some M is not P. Then there will be no fallacy of illicit measure. O is distributed. But middle term is not distributed here. If it is middle term will be like this, then O proposition distributed by P, I proposition is neither subject nor predicate, middle term is not distributed neither in the major premise or in the minor premise. So it leads to the fallacy of undistributed. Either it leads to the fallacy of illicit measure or it fallacy of undistributed middle. So from OIE, no conclusion can be drawn. This is all about rule 8. Thank you. We will discuss the next two rules in the next session. Thank you. Hello, good morning students. Last video we have already discussed about the general syllogistic rules from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today we will discuss about the general syllogistic rule 9. If one premise be particular, the conclusion must be particular. If one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. Out of the two premises, if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. With this, we have the combination of measure A, I, A, O, E, O or E, I. Here one premise is universal and other is particular. And what about the conclusion? We will see if one, out of this combination, the two premises, one is universal, another is particular. And what about the conclusion? We will see. First of all, AI. From AI, A and I. All M is P, some S is M. If major premise is universal and minor is particular. And what about the conclusion? A proposition is subject, I distribute neither subject nor predicate. Here the middle term is distributed in one of the premises, so there is no fallacy of undistributed. If we make the conclusion, if both the premises be affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. If one of both the premises were affirmative, the conclusion must be affirmative. So the conclusion must be affirmative. But here, according to the rule, the one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. But instead of particular, if we make it universal, universal affirmative, that is A proposition, then what will happen? All S is P. Here I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate, A proposition distribute subject. Here the subject means the minor term. Here in the conclusion the minor term is distributed, but which is not distributed in the minor premise. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit minor. This is the fallacy of illicit minor. Why this is the fallacy of illicit minor? Why this fallacy arises? Because we have made the conclusion universal affirmative. Instead of particular, we make it universal. If according to the rule, if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. But instead of particular, we made it universal. So it is therefore it commits the fallacy of illicit minor. If we make it particular, particular affirmative means I proposition, then it will be then no fallacy of illicit minor. This will be some S is P. I proposition distribute neither subject and nor predicate. There will be no fallacy of illicit minor. So from if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. If it is universal, it leads to the fallacy of illicit minor. There then AO, from the combination of AO, A and O, all M is P, some S is not M. What about the conclusion? Here the conclusion must be like this. If AO, the conclusion must be what? One is universal affirmative, this is particular negative. If one premise is affirmative and other is negative, the conclusion must be negative. According to the rules, the conclusion must be particular. One is particular, but we make it universal. This is E proposition. No S is P. All M is S. You should like this. This will be like this. Some M is not S. If all M is P, some S is not M, not S, some no S is P. Here A proposition distribute to subject, O distribute predicate, E distribute both subject and predicate. You see, if we are making the conclusion according to the rule, if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular, but we have made it universal. No S is P. Here middle term is distributed once in the premise, there is no fallacy of undistributed middle. In the conclusion, both the subject and predicate, both major term and minor term are distributed. Major term is distributed in the conclusion, but it is not distributed in the major premise. But minor term is distributed conclusion, but it is distributed in the minor premise. So there is no fallacy of illicit minor, but here there is a fallacy of illicit major. This is a fallacy of illicit major. Why it is illicit major? Because it is E proposition. If we make it universal negative, so it is fallacy of illicit major. But if we make it particular negative, then what will, instead of universal, we make it particular. Conclusion must be negative, but it is particular negative, means O proposition. Some S is not P, then what will happen? O proposition is to predicate. O proposition is to be predicate. So this will be the fallacy of illicit minor, illicit major, but there is no fallacy of illicit major. If we make it here, if we make it P is M, some P is M, and here we make it no S is not M, then it will be like this. A proposition is subject, O proposition distribute minor term, middle term, middle predicate term, O proposition distribute predicate term. So here you see, if both the premises are one premise is particular, conclusion is particular. One premise is negative, conclusion must be negative. Here it is E proposition, O proposition, O distribute predicate. So there is no fallacy of illicit major. If it is E proposition, then it is E proposition means no S is P. Here fallacy of illicit minor. If it is universal negative, it is fallacy of illicit minor. If it is particular negative, O proposition, some S is not P, so there is no fallacy of illicit minor. Therefore, if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. Then OE. OE both are negative, so no conclusion can be. EO means both are, it is negative, so no conclusion can be drawn. From EI, E and I, no M is P, some S is not M. Here it is universal negative, it is particular affirmative. One is negative, one premise is negative, other premise is affirmative. So conclusion must be negative. According to the rule, one premise is universal, particular. The conclusion must be particular. But if we do not make it particular, if we make it universal, universal negative means E proposition. No S is P. What will happen? E proposition due to both subject and predicate. Here, E proposition both subject predicate. Subject predicate. I neither subject nor predicate. Here, middle term is distributed. Once is the premise. There is no fallacy of undistributed middle. In the conclusion, both major term and minor term distributed. Major term is distributed conclusion. It has been distributed the major premise. Minor term is distributed conclusion, but it is not been in the minor premise. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit minor. It is a case of fallacy of illicit minor. Why minor? The minor term is distributed conclusion, but it is not distributed in the minor terms because I proposition distribute neither subject nor predicate. So it leads to the fallacy of illicit minor. Therefore, if we make it O proposition instead of particular, if we make universal, if we make it particular, then this is O proposition. Some S is not P. Then O proposition distributed predicator. Here there is no fallacy of illicit minor. Minor term is not O proposition is predicate. Major term is distributed conclusion. It has been also distributed in the major premise. So there is no fallacy of illicit major, only illicit minor there. If we make it negative, therefore, if one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. Means conclusion O means particular. This is all about the rule 9. If one premise is particular, the conclusion must be particular. We have already proved these combinations. Then go for the next rule. Rule 10. From particular measure, or if measure premise is particular, from particular measure and negative minor. Minor premise is negative, no conclusion can be drawn. From particular measure and negative minor, no conclusion. That means if major premise is particular, and minor premise is negative, so no conclusion can be drawn. It has a major premise, this is major premise, and this is minor premise. So major premise is particular position is I and O. The minor premise must be negative. Negative means O and E. What will be the combination? One is I, O, 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 E.